What is up, Karatics? In this video I'm going to be giving a guide for this week's HSW time trial for next gen consoles only, also the normal time trial and RC Bandito time trial, totaling over $450,000 for this week. Remember, the time trials can only be completed once during the event week period for the full payout, and keep in mind that rocket powered / flying vehicles cannot be used for the time trial. So starting off with the HSW time trial, which is raw and alternates. Again, remember that you can only use an HSW upgraded vehicle for these time trials, and the best one is obviously the Hakuchou Drag with the HSW upgrade, which is insanely fast. Now usually for these HSW time trials I use the HSW test ride vehicle of the corresponding event week. However, a lot of you pointed out that I haven't done it with the Sterling GT as of yet, so that's what we're going to be using for today's run, the HSW Sterling GT. Now in terms of route, the one the GPS shows is not the one you want to take. You're going to want to take the highway on the left side, not the one that it shows, and some other shortcuts throughout, which you'll see on my run as well. Overall, this is a pretty easy time trial as long as you use the route I show, and as usual, remember the part time for this time trial does change depending on what vehicle you're using, so keep that in mind. Moving on to your normal time trial, which is Mount Gordo. For this one, I highly recommend using a fast bike such as the Shotaro, Hakuchou Drag, or Batty 801. This time trial involves climbing up a mountain and can be very tricky with a car, so that's why I highly recommend a bike instead. Now usually for these time trials, I challenge myself by picking either the Prize Right Challenge car or the Casino Podium car of the corresponding event week. However, I wanted to use the new drip feed car for this week, which is the 10F, and I really pushed to beat the time trial for over an hour with the 10F, but I just couldn't get it done. Unfortunately, the 10F's weakness in this specific situation is the fact that it's rear-wheel drive instead of all-wheel drive. So I decided to use its all-wheel drive cousin, which is the Tempesta, and I was finally able to beat it with that car. Moving on to this week's RC Bandito time trial, which is La Fuente Blanca. As always, you need to own an RC Bandito in order to participate in these. As usual, these RC time trials are always tricky and require a lot of precise steering and throttle inputs. This one in particular has a lot of tighter and bumpy areas where you need to slow down, and for the tight corners, make sure to use your brakes. And that's it, guys. The HSW time trial is pretty easy if you use the route I show. The normal time trial is pretty tricky, but if you use a quick bike, you should be able to beat it pretty easily. And the RC time trial is pretty tricky as well, but just take it slow, use your brakes a lot, and you should be fine. Again, remember guys, you can earn over $450,000 to the 3 this week, and setting yourself to go to beat them is always a lot of fun in my personal opinion. Let me know which one you found most difficult and what vehicles you use down below in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.